Russell. What's going on, champ? How's everything, brother?
Man, everything good, man. Everything good so far.
I could tell you're an early bird, ready to do work, huh? Start your day.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, I'm up early, man. I'm up about 5 in the morning.
Oh wow, that early, bro?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At least 4:30, around 4:30 in the morning, about 4:30 in the morning.
Okay, okay. I want to start out by saying that hopefully your family and yourself are doing well during this time because I know that it's been hard to reach out to fighters because of COVID and what's going on in the world. But so I want to start out by saying that hopefully the family is good and yourself, bro.
Yeah, family's good, man. Family's good. Babies getting bigger, getting smarter. More importantly, uh, pops. His health isn't the best. You know what I'm saying? I think he's getting a little stable, but he's still not in the best of health. So, the elements of life is just mean. It's mean. So, you know what I'm saying? You gotta keep your chin down and your hands up. Right when you gotta open it.
That's great point. Like I said, hopefully he has a speedy recovery and he doesn't have to end up going to the hospital ever again, man. So we're gonna be praying for him too. But we're gonna start out from last Saturday. I don't know if you watched the fight, Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz on pay-per-view. What was your reaction and just the outcome of that fight?
Um, my reaction to it was I was actually impressed with Leo. I was actually impressed with Leo because he showed that he had a decent game plan and it was actually working. But let's all be honest. Leo isn't really a technical sound fighter.
Hmm.
You know, Leo's not really a technical sound fighter. He's a good fighter that's been in there with the right people. You know, um, but he surprised me though. I had to take my hat off. So he had a good game plan, but he's not defensive discipline. He's not technically sound. And you need that in the sport of boxing.
Hmm.
You need it.
Okay, so where do you feel like in terms of your impression, was it more like his the first two rounds of his discipline, like fighting in the outside, or what really impressed you?
um, it wasn't the first 2 rounds. I mean, if you want to ask me, I thought he won at least 4 to 6 rounds. Four
Okay.
to rounds that played out. I don't know how the judges had Leo losing the first round. He definitely
Mm.
won the first round. If you ask me, you know. I thought he had a decent game plan. He stayed behind his jab, and when he did attack, he took the initiative and really attacked. You know, um, he's just not defensive discipline. It was good to see him at least have a strategy in the fight because a lot of these guys they just fighters.
Mm.
So have a strategy. And to be honest with you, if Tank wouldn't have caught him, it would have been a real interesting fight.
Yeah, we know that in the
Yeah.
sport of boxing, promoters, politics, and networks have they pick and choose who they want to move up as a superstar. And this is no knock to Tank. I like Tank. Tank's a good fighter. But now that he's going to be fighting, well, it looks like he's going to be fighting on pay-per-view from now on, and that's how they're trying to build him. Do you feel like there is no way that he can't avoid fighting somebody like you because you're a known name? People like your style. You are a world champion. Regardless if you do have to move up to fight Tank, like, do you feel like this might be the best outcome because now Tank has to live up to this expectations of continuing to deliver pay-per-view numbers? What do you say to that?
I mean, I say if Tank would have fought Gary Russell Jr. on that night, or if Leo Santa Cruz would have fought Gary Russell Jr. on that night, the pay-per-view numbers would have been bigger than what they were.
Okay. In other words,
You know,
yeah.
uh,
No.
that's that. And to be honest with you, you make a real good point. The fact that he's a pay-per-view, that they made him a pay-per-view fight, he can't downgrade.
Yeah.
He downgrade, so you got to fight somebody of that caliber.
Yeah. And I say this because there are some fighters, right? For example, Canelo. He had to establish himself with certain big fights to be where he is because after a while, he was able to not I don't want to say get away with, but he was able to fight a Liam Smith on pay per view, Amir Khan's. I mean, they weren't the best tough big names. I mean, tough opponents in his weight class, but because Canelo was already established name, I think he was able to get away with it. With Tank, he's trying to establish that status. So I think he needs to get 3 to 4 big names that are tough opponents for him to be established. Would you agree with that?
I totally 100% agree. You know, and whoever better to start this shit off with than Mr. Gary Russell Jr.
Mm. Okay.
Whoever better.
Yeah.
I'm one of the most avoided and underrated champions in the sport of boxing today.
Yes. Correct. Correct. Have you and Tank, like, do you guys have each other's number? Have you guys ever text each other like, "Yo, I want the smoke. Let's get it. Let's get it popping." Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
It ain't never been that way. You know, I knew Tank for a while. You know,
Mm.
I knew Tank Gary since we was little kids. You know, it was never nothing like that. You know, it was just ironic that. I mean, I like the fact that one, we come from not the same area, but the facility.
Yeah.
You know, and boxing is a poor person's sport. You know, a lot of people get into boxing to try to generate some money. So I'm glad that he put himself in a position to be able to at least, do for himself and do for his family, and at least be able to reap the benefits of the work and effort that we have to endure as fighters.
Yeah.
You know, we work for that. It's just unfortunate that he's in or near the weight division that I'm fighting in.
Yeah.
And that makes you motherfucker fair game.
Yeah.
They make fair game, so it was never really nothing personal between me and Tank. I'm a fighter.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Whoever they feel as though is a bet. Now, he started doing stuff to make something a little personal. I think he said something like he wish he could get these fighters in the closed room and all that. Stop this shit, shorty. I'm not that guy.
Definitely.
That
Yeah. One thing that disappointed me, to be honest, was that people were trying to downgrade his victory. They were saying about the whole glove. I don't know if you heard about it, but the glove gate situation.
I heard about it. I don't know how true it is. I don't know how true it is. Politics does play a big factor in the sport of boxing, and I don't know if it played that much of a factor on that particular night. But it happens. It happens. I can't say that it didn't happen. We don't know. I can say this. This is what the commissioners and stuff like that is there for. I had an altercation or incident in one of my fights where I was competing and the thumb of the glove split open during the fight.
Wow. Okay.
The fight, and we actually had to get the commissioner and them to come in the ring, change the glove that I had on. But they still had to sign off on it and stuff like that. Now, the commissioner's job is to actually make sure everything is okay. So, if he had to change his gloves for whatever particular reason, a commissioner or the commissioner there should have been there to sign off on his hand wraps, should have been able to sign off on his gloves that he had, and etc. So, if he did change his gloves or to change the gloves or something, that's something that y'all would have to go to the commissioner about. That will fall back on the commissioner. They supposed to be on top of that.
Got you. Recently, there's news in boxing that you are campaigning to fight Miguel Berchelt because he is champion at 130 WBC. Which, if sanctioning body, if from my knowledge from sanctioning bodies, if you move up, you are kind of guaranteed that shot because you're moving up. What's an update with that? Has the WBC reached out to you for an answer?
I got a team that's working behind the scenes on a lot of stuff, so I really can't elaborate on it. But I can say what you said was 100% correct. A lot of these guys, I've been calling these guys out. I've been trying to get the fights that I want. None of these guys want to fight me for whatever particular reason because the fact they feel as though that I'm a threat. I'm one of them guys that don't give a fuck about how hard you hit or what you bring in the ring. I believe in the skill set that I possess. You don't have to prove that shit to me. I don't give a fuck about, reputations, precedes people. People live behind the reputation. You gotta prove that shit to me. I'm really one of them guys. I'm willing to put it all on the line. I'm one of the people that's gonna bet on myself.
Yeah. And
So
even yeah, and even that fight, if it was to happen, right? You have a box. I feel like that fight's a boxer versus a puncher because I seen what Berchelt's about. He has Valdez, which I think is gonna be just an all out brawl. But I think if it's a boxer versus a puncher, I think the fight could sell. Don't matter if it's on in the other, as I say, the other side of the lane, right? Top ranked ESPN or any other network. I think it'll be a great fight. It's a sellable fight.
any network,
Hmm.
any network, it'll be a sellable fight.
Okay. Okay.
Any network will be a sellable fight.
Okay. If somebody was to ask you, right? Because we know you could fight at 126, you could choose to fight at 130, or even be great to be 135. Like if there was a deadline and you had to choose, where do you want? Like, what is your preference? Because you
If
know,
there's a division,
yeah, like if you was to campaign that division, because we know you have a lot of options. We know there's a lot of names out there. There's probably 10 names I could think about right now in those three weight classes. Like, what do you want? Like today, right now.
I want all the
Okay.
motherfuckers. That's the thing. That's the difference between me and these other guys. These guys, they try to find the right opponent. They got good matchmakers. They got great matchmakers. They try to find the right match for these guys so that they can look great or so that, they can continue to pump these guys or build these guys up into the next superstar.
Hmm.
I'm one of those guys that you can line whoever the fuck you want to put up in front of me.
Hmm.
That's that's boogie. It's a difference. It's a difference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They scared of people like me.
Yeah. And we was briefly talking about it because like we're gonna say right like certain like I said certain fighters get certain privileges and the promotion fan base and whatnot. Like I said, not to knock down at any fighters because I think the fighters that are there they're really good. Now, if they was to fight the names as they're supposed to, that'd be even better for the sport because people were like,
Right.
AB, you should downgrade this fighter or this fighter. I'm like, no, that's not my job. My job is to to give them the credit where credit is due. So when he fights like another tough opponent like yourself, I want both fighters to benefit from each other and make their money that they deserve. And so people could be intrigued to watch it because if I downgrade, for example, if I downgrade you, and let's say for example you fight a Devin Haney or Gervonta Davis, and if I'm bringing the message like no Gary Russell's that's not a good name. Oh, he's not. You don't deserve it. Then that means like I'm persuading people not to tune into your fights. You know.
Right. I totally 100% agree, but yet at the same token, I'm a world champion. You gotta
Exactly.
give up. Come on, man. How could you say you like boxing, but you disrespecting the champions?
Mhm.
It don't work that. It
Yeah.
don't work that way. It's just stay amongst the fighters.
Yeah.
Let the fight.
Oh.
Let the fighters fight. Don't try to manipulate and formulate these punk ass game plans to try to avoid people.
Mhm.
And if that's the case, I'm cool with that. Just keep it 100 with the motherfucking people.
Yeah.
Let the people know. Yeah, all right. Well, we really trying to make this guy a star, and it might not turn out the way we want this shit to turn out if we go over there and fight this guy.
Yeah.
Just keep it 100. Be a man about your shit. Be honorable about it. I can respect that.
Mm.
And if you did that, if y'all fighters did that, then I probably be all alone. Because it ain't no fun picking on somebody that's scared to fight anyway.
Yeah. That's get your
I ain't
point.
no fun picking on somebody that you're gonna beat up on.
Yeah. In regards to its statement, I believe Floyd said it. He said something about there's too many champions in boxing nowadays. What do you say to that?
This is why I make the statement when I say, well, I don't know. It's a flip side to it. It's two sides to this. Because when he says too many champions in the sport, part of me agree based upon the fact that I think it's too many damn titles out here. I don't know where these made up titles coming from, and they giving people privileges, and they making them titles just so somebody can have this or have that or reward this person with this. That right there I don't agree with. I don't agree with them making that. Now if that's what he meant by that, then I agree.
Mm.
Now If he meant that, then I agree with him. You know, I'm not a fan of Floyd at all, but I'm a real person. If something makes sense, it just makes sense. You know, so if that's what he meant, then I agree. But if he was just saying it in another format, like it's too many titles out here, I, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not a big fan of Floyd, man. He's one of the guys that's trying to keep his fighters away from me beating their ass. So I'm not sure.
Okay. And that's when when you mentioned about him as a promoter and him trying to have his fighters stay away from you. I think that's the one thing that I see disparities between I hate to compare combat sports, right? UFC and boxing, because in UFC there's one champion, right? And let's say one interim champion in that weight class, and it's only one man that's dealing the business of, okay, let's say for example, right, Gary Russell, you're fighting this fighter. After that, you're gonna fight the number three contender of your division, and then I think that's the only thing that I wish boxing would do. Yeah.
Mhm. But no, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm one of them dogs, man, that's just sitting patiently waiting, grab something and shake it.
Yeah.
And when it won't moving, I want to still shake it.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, right? I was talking to a couple people the other day when they talk about Gary Russell. We talked about this other interview. People were saying, "Well, Gary's fighting once a year, or who knows when he's defending his title, right?" But then I say, "Yeah, he might be defending his title once a year, but he's gonna be fresh." Like I could say, for example, I mean, I don't know your longevity of what's the next 10 years of boxing or what you want to do in life, but is it like you've been tagged a lot or been physically harmed in a fight? So if you really want to, you could fight, like for example, Manny Pacquiao, I believe he's like 40, 41. Like if you really want to, you could stay in the sport till 41 or
If
up.
I want to, I can stay in the sport till I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
My body is healthy.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
My body, I don't got a lot of wear and tear. And guess what? All these fighters that y'all talking about or supposed to be good and that, these motherfuckers get hit.
Yeah.
Tank was getting knocked the fuck up.
Yeah.
My defense so nice, and they go over top of so many people's heads that they don't even talk about my defense. You just don't see me getting hit.
Yeah.
They talk about other shit. They got to find something else to talk about. You just don't see me getting hit.
Yeah.
So it's levels, man. It's levels to this shit. They know it. That's why they're keeping their fighters away from it.
That's crazy. Another fighter that I'm not sure if somebody talked to you about it or you put a video up, but I think October 17th, which was what, 2-3 weeks ago, Lomachenko, guy you fought, he took on a young, fresh Teofimo Lopez. What was your reaction to that fight, and what your impression for a young fighter like Teofimo Lopez? I believe he's 23. Sometimes a young fighter might bend and fold on the bright lights in such a big event. Like, what do you think about that overall event?
You say a young fighter might what?
I'm saying a young fighter like Teofimo Lopez, right, might fold under pressure, on the bright lights. Because a lot of people, yeah.
It depends. It depends. It takes a certain type of mindset just to participate in the sport of boxing with that. So everybody in the sport of boxing, they have the same tools. They got the jab. The punches are the same jab, a hook, uppercut. Everything the same. What makes the difference is the mindset of the individual. It really makes it different. He's young. He's hungry. And he was willing to put it all on the line. Just like a JoJo Diaz. When I fought JoJo Diaz, he was young, he was hungry, and he was willing to put everything all on the motherfucking line to get what he wanted. That's why I take my hat off to JoJo. And he became a world champion. He became a world champion. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly always felt like Lomachenko was overrated anyway.
Yeah.
I felt like he was overrated anyway. So let's be honest with you, man. Let's be honest with ourselves, because the media and society have a way of giving people false senses of security and making people see shit that they really don't see. But let's be realistic. Even in the fight with Lomachenko and Teofimo, I call him Gordo.
Yeah. Yep. Same thing.
To be honest with you, you see nothing special in that shit.
Nah.
see nothing special. You see nothing real spectacular in that fight. You
Yeah.
seen a young, hungry guy that was in shape. You know what I'm saying? A good athlete that was in shape and say, fuck it, I'm going to give it everything I got. I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to throw these punches. I'm going to punch. I'm going to touch his body. When he get close, I don't care if he punch. I'm going to just start throwing this shit. It wasn't really intellect into that. You know, I'm going to get in a lot of shape. I'm going to get up, and I'm going to give it everything I got, and it was a lot of heart.
Okay.
You know, and I think that's what got him over the top to win that fight. You know, and Lomachenko like up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko like up. He's older. He knew he was fighting a younger guy. This guy was bringing it to him. I think Lomachenko was trying to wait for the later rounds to gas him out, but he waited a little late. He waited too late.
Yeah.
You know, and my thing is this: if you're that good and your game plan is to wait till the later round, you don't have to completely take off and let this guy throw 6, 7, 8, 9 motherfucking punches. Nah, you don't have to do that. You can still control and dictate the pace in the ring and what's going on in there. He wasn't able to do that, you know, so Gordo did his thing.
Yeah.
I like Gordo. I like Gordo. I knew him. I knew his father. He came over with my younger brother Antoine. And to be honest with you, I think him and Antoine going to fuck around and beat up at some point.
Wow.
That's going to be it.
Okay. So they ever had sparring together, Gordo and your brother Antoine?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I could imagine that already, huh? Okay. Yeah. As a fighter, as a prize fighter, I want to say, do you feel like that win, based on the circumstances of the 4-belt era, regardless if people are debating if the WBC champion is a franchise, or if it's a regular WBC title, do you feel like that made him a superstar that night, like the star?
I think it plays a part.
Okay.
I think it plays a part. I don't think it made him a superstar.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it plays a part. You know, society is vicious, man. They got a way. They can make a bum off the street a superstar overnight if they keep playing them so much on TV.
Yeah.
You know, they got a way of portraying whatever they want to portray and put out whatever they want to put out. You know, and they had Lomachenko. They made him, put him on the pound-for-pound list and everything else. When, I mean, I don't think he was a pound-for-pound fighter.
Okay.
They put him on the pound-for-pound list. So if you want to go by that, then I think that would help him out. But I still don't feel as though that he have the skill set. You know, he's a good fighter. He's strong. I know he's strong. I know he's going to be in shape. I know he's going to bring his physical best. But is he a complete fighter? No, he's not a complete fighter.
Yeah.
I feel like if someone is going to be on the pound-for-pound list, I would expect for you to show me at least traits of a complete fighter. You know, I don't see traits of a complete fighter. I'm not just saying these things because I'm a fighter or I'm biased. This is just my opinion. I mean, I feel as though if I was to say someone is pound for pound, he's one of the best that's doing this shit, I shouldn't be able to look at this individual and see kinks and holes in his armor.
Yeah.
If I could see kinks and holes in his armor, oh, he's not really defensively sound. He's good, but he can't do this. He's one-dimensional. He's not versatile. He's only good in this particular element. He can't make the adjustment if this right here was to happen. He can't get out the way of this shit. Or he can punch, but he can only punch with this hand. You know what I'm saying? It's shit like that that makes a difference. That doesn't make you a complete fighter.
Okay.
Now, when you're a complete fighter, then I feel as though you should be on the pound-for-pound list.
Okay. The good thing is he's still young, so he has a lot of years ahead.
So he has a lot of room to grow and develop. You know, that's a good thing. You know, so I say it helps. It helps, but he got to maintain. Who else they gonna put in front of him for in the fight?
Yeah, that's true.
Who else put in front of him for the fight? You gotta fight these guys. You know what I'm saying? The reason why they not giving me the opportunity to get out there and fight these guys who they think supposed to be that guy is they feel like I'm going to knock them off their high horse.
Yeah. That and you make a point because like you beat them. It's like, for example, in realistic terms, right? These promoters put in so much money in a fighter's career that they choose and one loss, like say for example, it just depends on the loss, right? If you was to like outschool them and just show the difference what one boxer than the other boxer is, that is a devastation to what they invested in a fighter. Because imagine everything's not
That's right.
guaranteed.
And to be honest with you, I'm an extraordinary type of fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had one blemish on my record. Was against a Vasily Lomachenko, a guy who they put on the pound-for-pound list, and I think the fact that he got the win over me helped him get on the pound-for-pound list, you know, because the masses and the true connoisseurs of the sport of boxing, they know the skill set in which that I bring and possess. You know, he fought a dehydrated version of me, you know, when I was at the lowest of the lowest, and it was still a knockdown in the fight that it wasn't called. I still sat him on his ass. You know what I'm saying? It was still a split decision, majority decision fight.
Yeah.
Like, get the f out of here. You know? But I'm one of those guys that can move to any weight division as long as my body allows me to.
Yeah.
I can fight at 147. I can fight at 147. I won't come in at 147. I'll come in at the legal weight requirement by the commission for me to be able to compete in this weight division. And I can care less what the fuck they blow up to. They can blow up to however what they want to blow up to. That's not neither here nor there. I'm a real man at the end of the day. Let a motherfucker walk up to me right now. They could be 6'2", 6'3", 250 pounds. And if he was disrespectful, I'm only what, 5'5" right now, and about maybe 138.
138. Wow. Okay.
I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm sending all pressure. He better come correct, or he gonna have an issue.
Yeah.
He better fucking fight, because I do.
Okay.
You know, and you know, that's the type of mindset that a real fighter, a real warrior should have. A lot of these dudes don't. They just want who they think they can be.
Correct. You quickly mentioned you're willing to fight at 147. It's well documented. I don't want to recall what happened a couple months ago with the Crawford and yourself, right? It's already out there, right? His fight coming up, Kell Brook. That is a big name for his career, but not the opponent people would like him to verse at his weight class. Where does that fight ultimately rack up in his career, and is that a suitable win? Like, is that a win where people could talk about it? Oh, he bit a good name in Kell Brook in his career at the 147 division.
I think Kell Brook's name is still relevant enough.
Okay.
In my honest opinion, I think his name is still relevant enough. You know, even over there where Kell Brook is from, you know, he can still compete and probably fill the arenas up there. You know, if this stuff wasn't going on. You know, he definitely was a champion, an ex-champion, I believe. And he's a decent fighter. I think he's definitely bigger than what's the guy?
Amir Khan, the one he fought, or me?
He's definitely bigger than Terrence Crawford.
Oh, okay, got you.
He's a bigger guy than the Terrence Crawford. I think it'll look good on paper. I think it'll definitely look good on paper. I think Terrence should be able to outbox him. I think Terrence will probably be able to outbox him. Kell Brook. Honestly, I only watched Kell Brook fight a couple times. I think he's pretty decent. You know, he's pretty decent. I don't see it making a big wave.
Okay.
Being a big wave. I think it's more of a thing that they're just searching for people that has a name that's relevant enough, so they can put it on paper. So they can be like, well, we fought this person.
Yeah.
I think it's like that going on.
Yeah.
It's shit like going on. They still not fighting a real dog out there.
Yeah. And one thing I will say about Kell Brook is when he was consistent at 147, in terms that when he was at the weight class, to me, he was one of the top 5 fighters at 47. But when he gambled to fight the Triple G's of the world, and then he stayed at 154. I mean, first it was 160, right? Then he went down to.
I take my hat off to Kell Brook because he ain't no sucker. He was willing to say, fuck it, I'll move up and fight Triple G. I ain't scared of his ass. I fight.
Yeah.
And he was touching Triple G with that shit.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
He was touching Triple G too. But, you know, then again, I don't know. You can't never count Kell Brook out.
Yeah.
Because Terrence Crawford, he gets hit. he gets hit. He does. It's not like he don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he don't get hit. He gets hit.
Yeah.
And Kill got a pop. So if Kill touch him, it's clear that it's apparent that Terrence has been hurt by smaller guys. You know, when he fought Gamboa, he got wobbled real bad. You know, by smaller guys. You know, when he fights a guy that's naturally bigger than him, that can punch a little bit too. I don't know. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
It could be interesting.
Yeah. The one thing I would say is that because he hasn't made the full, like, the actual 147 in a good while, I think that might also play a factor in, if because Terrence, you know, regardless of your opinion, my opinion, I think he could wear him down based on, because Kell Brook hasn't.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
Terrence will definitely be able to wear him down over time. You know, over the course of the fight. Terrence, I think Terrence might have a little better arsenal than Kill. I think he's a better boxer. He's a little more slicker. He got a little more swag than Kill. I think all that plays a factor, but Kill can pop. I mean, and to be honest with you, it's a risky, safe fight. You know what I'm saying? It's a risky, safe fight. I know that's an oxymoron, but you know that's pretty much what it is. It's a risky, safe fight, you know, because it looks risky on paper. People know the name Kell Brook. They heard the name Kell Brook, you know, stuff like that. But it's a safe fight. I think Terrence has the ability to be able to outbox him, keep him at the end, you know, keep him at bay, you know, and turn him, create angles and stuff like that, and wear him down over the course of the fight. You know, that's my honest opinion. So.
Okay. You talked about pound for pound like 20 minutes ago. If somebody was to ask you, Gary, what is your pound for pound list, top 5, and top of your head, who are you putting up there right now?
Gary Russell Jr., Gary Russell Jr., Gary Russell Jr., Gary Russell Jr.
Gary Russell. That's it. Nobody else.
Nah, man. Honestly, I don't pay it. If my name ain't on the pound for pound list, I don't pay attention to it. Because we can be honest. We can be honest with yourselves, with the fans, whoever's listening, whoever's watching. Let's be real with yourselves. There's nobody in the sport of boxing that's competing in it right now today that could duplicate or do the shit that Mr. Gary Russell Jr. does in the ring.
Yeah. Correct.
It's nobody. There's nobody in the sport of boxing that you know has the ring IQ, the hand speed, and the pop to be able to throw a 5, 6, 7 punch combination in there with in controlled chaos with guys with credible guys, because the guys I've been competing against aren't handpicked guys. I've been fighting the mandatory challenger, the next best guy to the champion. So the next best guy to the champion, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting in there and I'm hitting these guys with 4, 5, 6 punch combinations, slipping, blocking, and doing it within a split second.
Yeah, and the crazy part,
and making it look easy, making it look like it's a science.
Yeah.
Making it look like we dancing, like this shit was orchestrated. Nobody in the sport of boxing is doing that shit today, but Mr. Joint.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody doing that. I don't care which fighter. You can think of any fighter in the sport of boxing, any weight class. If you was to match me up with them, the only reason why you would give any of these fighters the advantage, it would be a size advantage.
Yeah.
It would be because the person is bigger and they might hit hardest, not because they're technically better.
That definitely. That's actually what I was saying too, because people be like, Gary could be skill wise in any weight class, but does he have the physical tools? And I'm like, well, that's the only thing he'll probably have to give up. You know, if we was to make a counter argument, right, to why you shouldn't move up. But I mean, if you have the skills, and
any of the guys that you would mention, skill wise, is not a question that I'm better than them. The only is he strong enough or big enough to be able to deal with this individual.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. I don't pay attention to the pound for pound list because apparently the pound for pound list isn't about skill.
Yeah, that is.
So fuck that pound for pound list unless my name won.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Definitely, champ. Like I said, I think we covered everything. I mean, is there anything you want to let the fans know? Any projects or anything you're doing for the community before we let you go, champ?
Oh man, not at all, man. I'm staying rooted. I'm I'm staying rooted. Ain't no telling me what's going on with this COVID. To the people, I am a gun lover. So y'all need, if y'all stay in the state where y'all do have firearms, they allow y'all to get them. Please have some. Have some. Because it's a crazy world that we live in. It's a crazy world we live in. You have to protect yourself. The first rule of life is self-preservation. Protect yourself, then protect others. And you got to prepare for the worst and hope for the best out here these days. Society is crazy. At any given moment, we can go back into another situation where as though it's a lockdown and no one can leave out of their homes. It's people out here that don't have any food. They can't get food, and etc. People will be looting. They'll be rioting. They're trying to run in people's houses just to get food and etc. It's a crazy world, man. Don't let these people get y'all caught up in the matrix. Please open your eyes to what's going on out here and prepare yourself and prepare your families. Not saying that something is going to happen, but my father always told me, a man who fails to plan, plans to fail. So I'm going to leave y'all with that, man. So,
yeah.
I love the true fans. To the true fans that love me, man, stay tuned.
There you go.
Stay tuned. The realest fighters in the sport of boxing today.
Yeah. And then hopefully, like I said, hopefully announcement is announced soon for your upcoming fight so we can watch you fight again. Regardless if there's fans allowed or no fans allowed, as long as we get to watch you fight, I think that'll make us excited for. And number two, if the fans would like, one day I'll go over there where you are when you're training or you got an event going on. I'll go there to support you, champ. The real, bro.
Talking about, and look, we're going to make it feel like home for you. We're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of you. But to the fans, man, stay tuned, man. I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm the only fighter that's going to keep it real with y'all.
All right, man. Thanks, champ. And I'll text you in a bit, Baba. There you go. All right, champ. Later, bro.